So last night we were given the shocking news of the Dallas Cowboys trading Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers just 1 week from yesterday, or 6 days now, day recording, for the start of the 2025 season. In return, the Packers give out two first-round picks and defensive tackle Kenny Clark. And that's it. End of discussion, end of story. That is the list. That is the trade in total. It is not a Khalil Mack trade. It is not a Deshaun Watson trade in terms of the values of what they got in return. It is a measly two first round picks and a defensive tackle. That is it. And Kenny Clark is a good D tackle, 3-time Pro Bowler, solid, no doubt. But in the grand scheme of things, compared to Micah Parsons, is absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing in return. What the Cowboys got. With the trade, Parsons signs a 4-year, $188 million deal, $120 million fully guaranteed. Now that was on ESPN where I got this information, and I think I saw Adam Schefter or Rappaport. They posted 136 million. Around one of those guys I saw posted on there. So between 120 and 136 million fully guaranteed. He now, of course, becomes the highest paid non-quarterback in league history per year, surpassing T.J. Watt, who's at 41 million. And to give you insight into that for the edge rushing category, Micah Parsons is making $6 million more than T.J. Watt, who not that long ago signed that record-breaking deal. So before I kind of lose it on this rant, talking to both sides, my initial reaction is for everybody, that everyone's reaction to it, everyone's expression. This was absolutely horrible for the Cowboys. This was a idiotic move by Jerry Jones. Not going from just a trade, but the whole process of bashing him, trying to drag him through the mud, everything he's done to Micah Parsons in this process, and to basically give up your best player on your team. Maybe you can call it that. Maybe you could say CeeDee Lamb. Maybe some people, dare I say, would say Dak Prescott, but for me, I would say Micah Parsons is the best player on the team. Certainly, no doubt, on the defensive side. So you got rid of your best defensive player and arguably your best player on the entire team. It's embarrassing to see how this played out throughout the whole thing. The process of him bashing Micah Parsons, the trade value, which in perspective, you'd look at someone that's players that are older than Micah Parsons. Myles Garrett, if he was legitimately on the open market, he would have got a ton more. The Browns would have got a ton more for Myles Garrett in value if they traded him. You can go down the list as well as Max Crosby at that point, if there was talks, maybe if he was legitimately on the trade block, they would have got more than what Micah Parsons would have gotten, or T.J. Watt if he was in the open market or on the market for the trade. They got much more than the return for Micah Parsons. So you look at that, and it's a complete fumble throughout the whole process by Jerry Jones. And I want to make that a certain point. It's not the Cowboys; it's Jerry Jones. He is the sole reason why they're going to have a horrible year this year, getting rid of your best player. So again, your best defensive player on the side of the ball, and why they've had no success for over 30 years since winning their last Super Bowl in 1995. This is why they've had no success for 30 years, and it's going to keep going, unfortunately. And what a way also to kind of screw over your first-time head coach, Brian Schottenheimer. Really, again, this is yesterday of a trade 1 week from the kickoff of the NFL season against the Philadelphia Eagles. So you're already in an uphill battle to begin with, facing the defending Super Bowl champs. Now you're going into it with a game plan of not having Micah Parsons. Now, maybe at that point, if he was still on the team, that he would have sat out games and it would have been, not a void to begin with, or, kind of pointless to talk about, but at least he would still be on the team. Maybe not playing, but still be on the team. And maybe, a few games in, he would kind of come back and we would sort things out. Or maybe he would have played week one, who knows? But the fact that now he is officially off the team, no longer a Dallas Cowboy, this really hurts. This is brutal, no doubt. And you look at the rest of the defense, it is horrendous, in my opinion. It is. There's no good spots. Maybe Trayvon Diggs, dare I say, is the only bright spot on that team. And then now you have, Kenny Clark and the interior defensive line. But again, they got absolutely zero return. And you look, the first round picks are basically late first round picks because they are now contenders now with this move. So you're gonna be, at best case scenario, picking mid-20s or late 20s. That is basically where you are. That is the highest value that you're going to get out of these two first round picks, unless some catastrophe happens where there's injuries all across the board. They have a horrible season and they have a high pick. But knock on wood for them. Hopefully it doesn't happen. But that is the only best case scenario for the Cowboys if they have a blunder of a season, which they won't. They will be a contender. They will be in the playoffs. So it'll be a late first round pick. So again, relatively, they gave up nothing for Micah Parsons. Looking at it from the Packers' perspective, real quick before I go back to the Cowboys, amazing value what they did. Again, you can look at the contract and say, hey, that's why the compensation wasn't that crazy because they still had to pay him and paid him big, at $6 million more per year than T.J. Watts, who was at that time initially the highest paid non-quarterback in history. But still, I love the move what the Packers did to go out there and go all in, screw the picks, give out Kenny Clark, and get a true difference maker in Micah Parsons. Now you look at the playoffs for Micah Parsons. He's been there for 3 years. I think 4 games in total. 4 games in total in his career, and it's the stats don't pop out, especially in the sack category. Only 1 sack in 3 playoff appearances or 4 games in total. So that is a little lacking. He does have, I think, 18 total tackles. He has a few pressures. So in terms of that, his resume for the playoffs, there's certainly questions about that, or there's certainly things that are lacking in that aspect. But still, go out there and get a difference maker, give him the opportunity, and no doubt Micah Parsons will have a far better chance of having much more success with the Green Bay Packers than the Dallas Cowboys. No question about that whatsoever. So again, I love the Packers' perspective. They go out there, they gamble, they went all in on a elite pass rusher, young pass rusher as of right now, still 26 years old, and still has a ton of years left in his prime. A ton of years left for that to be a difference maker for this roster, and it is, again, I can't brave enough. It is A plus plus and ST, however you want to call it, is a phenomenal move by the Green Bay Packers. Absolutely, I was stunned that regardless of the trade happened, that the Cowboys would move off of Micah Parsons, but for the Packers, amazing move. And I also didn't think the Cowboys were going to keep him in the NFC. I thought they would try and ship him out to the AFC to get some value. I don't know if the value wasn't there for other teams. And again, looking at what they gave up, it doesn't seem like it's not really anything. It's not really anything for Micah Parsons compared to, again, if you looked at T.J. Watt, Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, if those guys were truly on the open market for trade, they would have got a ton more. So I just don't know if the market was not that great for Micah Parsons, or it was just Jerry with his ego saying, screw it, get him out of here, I don't care. I don't know, what it was. I'd love to see what the other if there was reports or rumors or speculation, eventually come out of, hey, this team offered this for Micah Parsons. Hey, this team offered that for Micah Parsons. I would love to see, potential reports of potential trade, packages that were put together that were, didn't go through. But, again, I'm very surprised that he stayed in the NFC and went to the Green Bay. Not getting back to the Dallas Cowboys, once again, keep bashing them. It's a complete fumble by Jerry Jones. It's once again his ego getting in the way of this, getting a horrible deal for Parsons. Again, bashing this guy for no reason whatsoever when he's looking for a contract that he's worth. He is. Even through the whole process, I did not think he was going to get $47 million for his contract, but I did believe that you were going to have to at least pay him record money per year. It's only be 41, 42, 43 million dollars. I mean, you're gonna have to probably reset the market with Micah Parsons, and oh boy, did they for the Packers. $6 million more, like I said, compared to T.J. Watt. So now this is going to really open things up for Aiden Hutchinson or other pass rushers in the league of what they're going to get paid in that aspect of it. But again, an absolute fumble for the Dallas Cowboys and what they did. This is going to be a brutal season for them. No question. It's going to be a brutal season for the Cowboys without Micah Parsons. And to make things even worse, go into their schedule real quick. They won't have to wait long to see Micah Parsons. They will be facing them at home week 4. Like, what a turn of events with that, on top of everything that's happened, the trades, the Packers. Now they have to face them week 4 at home. At least it's at home for the Cowboys. If it even helps or not, makes it probably even more embarrassing if they're going to, inevitably, I think they will get blown out or be bashed in that game. So it makes it even worse. They're going to be on home turf for that one. But week 4 against the Packers at home, what a game that's going to be. There's no question what a game that is going to be, on top of it basically being a primetime game already. It is Sunday football for that one. So, boy, what more stakes to put into it on top of that. But going for the regular season, starting off with, like we said, 6 days from the day of recording right now, they will face Philadelphia, open up the season. Horrible game for them. Quote unquote, this should be a easy game for week 2 against the Giants. Hopefully, for their sake, it is. But again, look at their their trash defense right now. I don't see anything that really pops out to me on their defense side of the ball. Jackson Dart, if he can continue what he's doing in the preseason, they're going to be in trouble. We have the Chicago Bears with first-time head coach Ben Johnson, I do expect them to be better than they were last year, but who knows? It's Chicago Bears. They've done this before. That could be a difficult game. Week 4, like we talked about with the Packers. Week 5 with the Jets. I mean, it's going to be a little bit, iffy. I don't know how Justin Fields is going to be. I think he will be solid this year, depending on how if they use him the way I think they should. But that could be a tricky game for them. Week 6, the Panthers, again, maybe one of the easier games on the schedule with Bryce Young and seeing what they're going to do with that. Week 7, Commanders, no question that's not no question that's gonna be a loss for the Cowboys. Denver Broncos, Week 8, loss for the Cowboys. Week 9 against the Cardinals, again maybe a toss up for that one still. Week 10 they have the bye, and just when you thought maybe that first half is a little bit rough in some areas, the second half is much worse, much worse. Week 11 is the Las Vegas Raiders. Again, a little bit of a toss up with that one, but we'll see. Week 12, Philadelphia. Week 13, Kansas City. Week 14, Detroit. Week 15, Minnesota. Week 16, the Chargers. Week 17, the Commanders. And then we're wrapping up the season, potentially, most likely the final game of the year. No playoffs for them this year, I don't think. Again, not going on a limb saying that, is the New York Giants wrapping it up. So you look at that with no Micah Parsons. It would have been difficult as it is with Micah Parsons, but without Micah Parsons, it just makes it a hell of a lot worse. You got rid of your best pass rusher, your best player guy on the whole entire team, in my opinion. And boy, it's gonna be rough. And this offense with Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens. I mean, in terms of fantasy value, you guys should be drafting all these guys high because they're gonna have to put up some big numbers. They're gonna have to put up high 30 points, maybe 40 points in some of these games to win. It's going to have to most likely be like Joe Burrow and the Bengals last year. They're going to have to score a ton of points to even have a chance. It's going to be a Big 12 season for the Cowboys. Zero defense and just a high-powered offense. It's going to have to be for them to have any shot whatsoever to do something. So again, it is a brutal, to me, I think it's a brutal season. Just look at for the Dallas Cowboys defense. It is a brutal season for the Cowboys on that side, no doubt. And again, very shocked the Cowboys would make a move like this, but at the same time, too, even though I'm being hypocritical at this point, I shouldn't be. I know I said I should, but at the same time, too, I really shouldn't be because it's Jerry Jones. He's an idiot. He's a clown. He has ruined this team for 30 plus years, or say 30 years since 1995, and really probably before, more than that, firing Jimmy Johnson. So we can add a little bit more years to that on top of that, even though they did one more with Barry Switzer. It's brutal. I can't imagine what Dallas Cowboys fans are going through. I mean, I've seen it on social media. It is idiotic. I mean, I don't know what's going on. Not just the Cowboys, for Dallas sports in general. Getting rid of all-star, top tier players with the Mavs with Luka, with the Cowboys with Micah Parsons, and unfortunately, there is no draft lottery in NBA, so you can't magically win the first overall pick like the Mavs. So we'll see if the Cowboys do get the first overall pick in 2026 with this one. But again, going back to it, horrible move, no question. I mean, F plus, F minus, however you want to say, the worst grade ever for the Cowboys. It is. It's one of the worst moments in Cowboys history, no question about that, of this move here. And there's no positives whatsoever. Nothing I can say positive about this at all whatsoever about this. And for the Packers, absolutely love it. Like I keep raving about, absolutely love the move here. I love that they went all in. I got on Parsons, so we'll see how it plays out. No doubt, everyone's gonna be circling Week 4 against the Packers and how the Packers Cowboys game and see how that plays out. But certainly, keep my eye on both teams for the whole season and how it plays out for both of them.